Okay, a day or two, well, more than a day or two ago, recently I noticed that the chickens are laying in this area where I had random things piled up, and they were crawling under there and laying eggs instead of their coop. And I thought, well, that's because I let them free range. They don't want to walk all the way back to the coop. And then a day or two ago, I noticed as soon as I opened the coop, a couple of them ran straight over here, hopped in there, and laid an egg immediately. So I think they were saving their egg, if they're able to do that, until they got over here. Now that's where the snake has been some years, and I wasn't brave enough to reach down in there and get those eggs. So today I've cleaned out the junk. I've moved some of the junk over here. That's an old, the wooden part in there is an old rabbit box, nest box I tried to make. And then this I'm covering up, and I'm gonna see if they'll lay their eggs in this. This is the other end of the asparagus bed. So you can see I've got stuff laying all over. I'm still in the middle of cleaning. But I want to see if they'll come over here and lay their eggs here where I'm brave enough to get them. Because, you know, I can see in there. I'm going to leave that side open. So I'm taking these eggs out. I'm going to put a couple things like this watered chicken bucket I'm going to put in there to block that area. And I'm going to see if they'll come in here in one of these two areas, that wooden nesting box or under there, once I get it covered a little more. See if they'll lay there so I can gather their eggs. I took a couple of these eggs and wrote on Sharpie on them and wrote old and put them 2 in this side and 2 in that side to see if that will encourage them to lay where I'm brave enough to get them. Those are some beautiful eggs. Nice, clean, beautiful eggs right there that are old, because I didn't know for a little while they were laying down in there. So I'm going to see how this goes. So I'm sorry about all the background noise. The neighbors are getting quite a bit of dirt work done. I'm now doing a voiceover. After I got the video done, I'm doing a voiceover. So I had gone to the chicken coop and let the chickens out, and usually they run straight for my front door, because this is a place where sometimes I'll sit and they'll get on my lap, or I'll feed them snacks. They like to hide under my camper and under my truck, so this is a place they usually come. So I stood by the chicken coop and they would not come up here. So I went in the house, and then they ran right past this area. You can see them running there by my truck. And they ran out towards the garden area. So they were nervous about all the things that I had moved around. And I thought they might be, because my chickens they're nervous about new things. When things are moved, when things are moving. So yeah, so I just thought I would let it sit there and see if anyone would get in there. I really hope this works. And the empty area of the asparagus bed, other than the asparagus, nothing grows much there, because as the summer wears on, this part, in the spring, this gets a lot of sun. But then as the summer goes on and the sun moves in the sky, it gets more shaded. When there's more, sun during the evening, this area is on the east side, so it's completely shaded. So I have just left this asparagus bed, except for the asparagus, empty, because the chickens like to take their dirt baths in there. They're crazy. They'll dig a hole anywhere and take a dirt bath. But they do like it in this bed. So I was going to leave it just like that. So then I decided I'd try to encourage them to be brave and come back down. So I threw a couple handfuls of feed out here and threw one right at a new nesting area and the asparagus bed spot to see if that would help encourage them to be brave and check things out. The whitebirds are Delawares, and they have always been the most curious and the most like puppies, and that's, you can hear one now is the loudest, well, till I said that. So the Delawares have always been the ones that jump right on my lap, follow me around. They're less scared of things. I have a not the most polite name that I call all three of them because, you know, they can kind of be pains, although they're my favorite as far as how tame they are and they're not skittish. They also seem to get into things. When they escaped from the brooder, they were the first ones trying to get out of the brooder tub when they were little. So yeah, and then the Buff Orpington, she's the kind of orange colored one there. The Buff Orpingtons, they really like to nest, and so I'm not surprised that she is one of the ones getting down in there. And they're the ones that come, oh, I thought one died last night. They're the ones that come into bed the latest. So I had everyone shut in their coop, and then I got, or their run, and I've got that automatic door. And then it was after dark, and I woke up to a chicken sounding in distress. Well, one of the Buff Orpingtons I had forgotten, and she was in there hiding. I think something was after her because she had hidden in under some rakes. So I think she was hiding from some airborne creature that was trying to get her. So fortunately, I got back to her and got her in time. So at least the Buff Orpington is okay with the new egg setup, or the new nest box setup. So hopefully they will use this and lay eggs where I can find them. Fingers crossed. I definitely want to find a balance between letting them free range every time that I'm home for as long as possible, but also being able to find their eggs. I know that they lay eggs under the deck where I can't get in. Some of my deck is super tall, you know, a story tall, and then some of it goes to where it's less than a crawl space tall, about 18 inches tall, and they go under there and lay their eggs. I can hear them cackle, so I won't get to those, but I hope that I can get them to lay eggs here where I can find them. Fingers crossed.